Hello guys and welcome, I'm SimUK. This is Farm Manager 2021 and I'm going to attempt to try and give you a bit of a beginner's guide, a bit of a tutorial to anything that you want to know about this game. Now, I reviewed this game and I had access to this game prior to release, and there were a number of serious issues with the game, and I sent my list of issues to the developers. In fairness to them, they have ticked almost every single one of those things off the list, plus a whole bunch of things that I personally hadn't encountered, but they're picking up on the bugs and they're fixing them in a way that they just didn't with 2018. I've said this before, I think what's happened with 2021, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's the same game with a few tweaks. I don't think it is. I think what's happened is that they had spaghetti code. In 2018, it was so badly put together and so jumbled that they couldn't fix things without breaking stuff. So I think in the time between 2018 and this release, 2021, they have fixed that code. And that's proven, in my opinion, bearing in mind I've worked in the industry for a number of years, by the fact that they are knocking off these, not only the bugs, but also the quality of life issues in the game really, really quickly. Sometimes we're getting 2 updates in a single day, and they are making big, massive positive changes to the game. They're listening, they're implementing the changes that need to be made, and they're doing a great job. This is a quality game now, and it's only going to get better. I'm really excited to see what they do with DLC, etc. Bearing in mind the game itself is only £15, I think, on Steam at the moment. I think that's a very fair, very reasonable price. And yeah, really excited to see what else they bring to the fore. So they sent me this this game save file with 4 million in. I did ask them if they could possibly have all of this training completed, which they haven't done. But okay, maybe that's beneficial. So what I'm going to try and do here is just teach you a few things, a few bits and bobs. If you're going through the campaign will teach you stuff at their own pace and so on and so forth. So that's fine. This is more sort of, if you're brand new to the game, you don't really know what's going on, and you're just curious about how the game works. So for any job that you have, there's only one thing that makes money that doesn't need to have employees. And in order to get access to that, you need to come in here to training and click on use of renewable energy sources. Gives access to wind farm building. So let's grab that. It's 2,500. Takes 7 days, and what that will do is it will unlock in here somewhere the wind farm option, which is there. I'm not sure where it would be. Probably production. No. Where would it be? In the filtered areas. It's got to be in others. There it is. You can see there it says training required use of renewable energy resources. So we'll start there. We'll start with that, and then we'll build up. And I'll show you basically everything that I've learnt. In fact, what I'll do is I'll try and focus on things that begin without the need for employees, because employees are a little tricky at the moment. It's certainly an area of the game that I wanted improved in 2018, and I've requested it be improved in 2021, and it is being worked on, but it's not there yet. So that's subject to change. Right, let's speed up time. And we'll get the 7 days done. So if you're completely new to the game, over here we've got your sort of guided missions. Now, I'm not sure why that shows up in free play, because that's no longer a thing in free play. I've never seen anything pop up here. We used to have farmers, local farmers, sort of having competitions with us. Who can grow the biggest pumpkin, that sort of stuff. I haven't seen that at all this time round. Whether or not it's coming, I don't know. But certainly it doesn't do anything. So in the campaign, this will be your list of objectives that you have to do. But in free play mode, it doesn't really do anything at all. Messages are from your employees to you. So if you have a greenhouse and they take all the goods, they harvest it, or they do something important there, they'll send you a quick message and you can see what's happened and when. This is new to 2021. You can't see anything at the moment, but it basically gives you layers so you can see where things are. The only one that's of real use, I think, is the growth and the quality, possibly the irrigation as well. The electricity layers are also quite good because we have electricity now, which they've just changed and can be turned on or off. So let's begin by building a turbine station. Now you rotate with the R key, and we're just going to pop 4 of those there behind the house. And you can see that we've got these icons above. They need electricity. Now you might think, hang on, they create electricity. Why would they need electricity? Actually, do you know what? No, I'm going to leave it. They need electricity because they need to send the electricity back to the grid, I guess. Now, one thing that I do find quite irritating about the electricity pylons is that placing it is a bit of a pain in the bum. Now, I kind of want it to look nice and neat and tidy, and often it doesn't. But you see how it sort of automatically puts it on the corner of the house there, which is, I think, a lot neater than anywhere I could put it. So what is often a very good way of placing these electric things is, if you know you're going to have a building in this area, I could have put it here and then built these around it, because these will shift out the way and they'll put themselves in a position that you just can't physically put them in, and they look neater and tidier as a result. So, a vast amount of expense. You can see they're rotating at 33 RPM, and this is the amount of cash that they've generated. Now they're, I think, 40,000 each, is that right? 40,000 each. They cost you 500 a month. So this is so 160,000 that I've spent putting it there, and then 2,000 a month expenses. But the whole time they're rotating, and they seem to rotate pretty regularly, then obviously we get money coming in. So already we're about halfway through the expense of that. Now, not every month is going to bring in a profit, but some profit will come in every month. And that's pretty good. That's pretty neat and tidy. That's probably the first and easiest way to bring in cash. Let's look at another way of bringing in cash. I love this technique. This is the mechanic. Now you can see that the electricity icon is in the way of where I'm trying to put this building. But if I drop it there, the electricity icon automatically moves, making the wire longer, and it puts it right on the corner, almost on the road, in fact. Now I can't place it there, so it's much better to do that and have the game automatically move it for you, because it just looks neater and tidier. So here I have built a mechanic. Now you might think that's a bit silly because I don't have any machines or anything, but the mechanic does not need any employees. What it does need, however, is a garage. Let's just whack a little garage down here. So I have a garage. Now you might think, I'm not sure Sim knows what he's doing here. This is a farming simulator, and here he is building wind farms and mechanics. But I love this feature of the game. I don't think it's really that popular, but you can see here, if we look at the tractors, we've got an orchard tractor here for 35,000. It's 100% condition. But you can buy it for slightly less, and it's in a used condition, and the mechanic will fix it. Now that's not the perfect example. What I really need is something that's sort of about 50%, or even less than that. Less than that is better, because there's no expense. Here we go, 34%. So it's 10,000 new. We can pick it up for 3,500, 3,300. Oh, I can't pop it in there because we have no electricity. The electricity thing is a bit of a pain in the backside. I think the electricity width needs to be slightly bigger personally, but that's just my 2 pennies worth. Right, so now the garage, which doesn't need electricity in all fairness, has electricity. Let's go and find that thing again. Which was it? Which one was it? So 3,339. I do hate how the camera rotates when I'm trying to do this. But there you go. We've got this old, battered, dated looking thing here. It's not in the best condition. Automatically, the game will only order a mechanic if the durability of the machinery is less than 33%. So whatever the percentage of the item that you buy is, it will automatically drop down. So what we want to do is we want to get this back up to 100% as much as possible. Okay, so that's now done. Now I don't believe that cost us any money for the mechanic to do that, but we now have 100% and we can sell it for 6,299. So we kind of doubled our money there. Let's see if we can find another one. Remember, the more broken it is, the better, because it doesn't take longer to fix, and it returns a fairly decent profit. Now, some of the things, if you can find like a tractor, or better still, a combine harvester. I picked up a £400,000 combine harvester that was 30% condition for about 200,000, something like that. Maybe less even, I can't remember now. And then sold it for not quite 400,000, but a huge profit. So there's definitely profit to be made here. 41%. Ideally looking for something that's quite expensive. You're not going to make huge profits off this. So 6,300. We'll pick it up for 1,900. Stick it in the garage. Come in here, change the durability. The mechanic immediately comes and fixes it. Pick it up, sell it for 3,968. So a smaller profit there. But you get the idea. This is ideal for bigger things. But having the mechanic is definitely a benefit to you. Right, what else can we do? I have a great thing on my Let's Play series called Honey Money. And this is another excellent way of pulling in some easy cash sort of autonomously. So you build the beehive, and you come into the beehive and you buy the hives. And you get a maximum of 10, which fits nicely into that configuration. But what this place needs is an employee. So let's get our first employee built. You have two types of employee buildings. You have permanent employees and you have seasonal employees. So what we need to do is get a permanent employee, because the seasonal employees do not have the skill set to manage this. So we'll just build that real quick, and then okay, there we go. So if we come in and hire somebody, what we're looking for is somebody with beekeeping skills, and she is absolutely perfect. You can also do orchards. Let's see if there's anybody else. Beekeeping and machines. And that's it. Well, she's perfect. She's 100% on beekeeping. And what that basically means is that she will be super efficient. So she will get the most amount of honey out of the bees that you can possibly get. That's what that 5-star thing means. And if you come into your staff here, you can see there she is, Darcy Chambers. And if I click on her, I can actually upgrade her. I can train her to be better. Beekeeping is already at maximum, so I can't train her to do that at all. But that's basically how that works. You can also adjust her monthly, the number of hours she works, and the amount of money she makes. Generally, they're pretty good, but obviously her strength goes down the harder she works, and her happiness, if it reaches this end, if it gets too low, then she will become disappointed and she'll quit. She won't really say anything, she'll just leave, and then you'll have to find a replacement. So it's a good idea to try and keep your staff quite happy, although most of the time if you just leave it on default and make sure that they're working in their chosen field of expertise, then they're pretty much happy. Okay, so the honey money, if we come in here and type in, well, click on sell and type in honey. Actually, that's not how you spell honey. In fact, we don't have any honey yet, so she's just working on producing it. Ah, no. Right, so above her head she has an icon. And what she needs to do is she needs to put that honey into a warehouse. So if we come in here to warehouses, you'll look at this one and you'll think, oh, that icon is for that. Clearly, barn, here we go. But actually, I think the honey goes in one of these warehouses. Let's just check that. Now, annoyingly, you can't check exactly which one it goes in. This is the UI issues in the game at the moment. You can't check which warehouse it goes in until you've built one. Once you've built one, then you can look. Yeah, I think we've picked the right one here. Does this have honey? Certainly does. So it's a little confusing. Again, we don't have the electricity, so let's just get the electricity sorted out. Now, I find that quite irritating because you can see that the electricity reach includes that building, and I have asked them to fix this so that if the corner of this building is within reach of electricity, then it should have electricity, in my humble opinion. So hopefully that's something that we'll see change in time. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a money-making system going on there. Nothing too elaborate, but it is working. We'll just have a little look, just in case. Oh, 81%, 89, 53. All right, look. So 53%, 196,000. That's less than half the price. Stick it in Garage 1. click on it again. Make sure we get it up to 100%. I don't think you can get it to 100%. You can only get it to like 90%. So now I can sell it for 251,000. So that's 51,000 I made right there on that one machine. The mechanic didn't used to work, but now that it does work, it keeps all your machines up and running. And trust me, machines breaking down are a big problem in this game. It's something that will cost you a lot of money if you're not careful. So you really do want to have a mechanic sooner rather than later. All right. Let's see what else we can do to make some cash. So let's get some animals in here, shall we? We've got chicken coops. We've got small ostrich farms. We've got fish farms. We've got cow sheds. We've got pigsties. And we've got a small shed for sheep and goats. And weirdly, that comes up after the cow shed. So they all look fairly similar, but they're all for different types of animals. Now, let's begin with something that's new. Let's start with the ostrich farm. And we'll slam down the fish farm. So, of course, we have seasons, and up here you've got the date. You can see the winter starts in 183 days. Now, we're going to need special employees for these. Now, any building that you click on that takes an employee, like the beehive and the ostrich farm here, you can see that the skill that you need is highlighted here. So we need someone with skill in animals. So if we go and hire 2 animals skilled, like she's perfect. She also does beekeeping, which is quite handy. In the future, maybe so. She's pretty good with animals. The perfect combination is always animals and endurance, like your main thing plus endurance. That's always the best, but sometimes you can't get that. So before you get any animals, make sure that you've hired an employee with skills in looking after animals. Again, animals up here. And then assign them, because if you don't, then they can't get any food. So when we click on something like this, let's just, if we can, let's buy ourselves 2 ostriches, and it'll tell you what their food choice is. So corn, sorghum, soya, linseed, and sunflower. Now, in order to store these items, we will need to have one of these. I'll go for a medium silo, I think. Yeah, best to pop this. Let's go there. Now, you must remember that everything needs to have road access. The better the quality of the road, the faster people can move on it. But in all honesty, it makes so little difference. I just stick with the dirt road because I think it looks nicer, personally. So you can see these animals have no food. Let me just pause it here a second, because whilst I'm explaining this, they might die. So you've got to keep their health and condition in good check, obviously. You can see there's a little icon up here. You have not selected any food type for the ostrich farm, and they are starving, right? In addition to the icon here and the pop-ups that you see above the building, you've also got serious alerts that pop up over here. If you click on that, and you'll see that it's exactly the same. If I click on that, the camera will take me to the location where the problem is. Now, if you have resolved this problem and you don't want to see that error anymore, you can just turn that error off, and then you don't see that error anymore. Don't forget to turn it back on, though, because sometimes it's quite important. So, to begin with, we have none of this. We don't have any corn, we don't have any sorghum, we don't have any soya, we don't have any linseed, we don't have any sunflowers. And we're not going to have for quite some time. So what we're going to have to do is order it in. To order it in, we come down here to the market icon, and up here to trade, and then we type in sorry, I always do this wrong. Add item first, and then type in sunflower. I really think they could improve this, but that's just me. So I think they eat, is it sunflower seed? Let me just double check. What do they eat? Sunflowers themselves or the seed? I think sunflowers themselves. Okay. Trade, add trade. Sunflower themselves. Now you can buy bio, but obviously they're more expensive. We'll just go for the standard sunflower. Let's say I want to buy in. This is buy on the left. This is sell on the right. So if you tick that button, you say, if I've got more than 200 units, sell it. I think it would be nice if we had another option here that had a percentage. I'd like to sell half of whatever I have. I think that would be good, but at the moment we don't have that. So instead we have this buy option and sell option. So if we buy, make sure we've got 250 units at all times. That should be plenty. You can add another item, and sorghum, is it called? Stuff. We'll click that, 250. And we'll add another trade item. I think corn was one of the things they eat. Tick that, make sure we've always got 250 units. Now what's nice about this is if you start growing corn, then it doesn't matter because you're still only going to buy in a maximum of 250. And if you've already got 250, then it won't buy any in at all. So linseed and soya, let's add those as well. Trade, add item, linseed. Make sure we buy 250. What was the other one? Soya. Let's click this button. Soya. And I think it's this one. Yeah, make sure we've got 250 units. Okay, good. So that's all the elements that these animals need that we've ordered. Now come into the warehouse and you'll see wherever the icon is that the amount will shoot up to about 250. And then the employee that you've hired will walk to the warehouse, walk back and feed the animals. That's how that's going to work. So let's speed that up. Now the important thing is that you pick what they eat. So if I click on corn, you can see the chosen food quality goes there. If I click on sorghum, you can see it goes up. And soya is nearly 100%. And linseed gives us 100%. Now you can do any combination of these. As long as you have 4 out of the 5 selected, they will be 100% happy with their food. But this indicates what they are expecting, what the quality of the food would be if they ate it. And this down here is the quality of the food that they actually have. So at present, they have nothing at all. There you go. They've got their first item. So if I just pause a second, you can see in here we've got some linseed has arrived. So their handler, their looker after her, down here, Amelia Ross, has gone and got some linseed, and she's fed them that. So now they're not starving. You see that error message has gone away. That error message has gone away. They're fine. Now these will breed on their own, and if I just take one of those off. Just wondering if it tells me in here how much they cost. No. It would be nice to have cost information here, because whatever's the cheapest is the one that I could turn off, if you will. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off corn, because I'm pretty sure that the fish eat corn. Now fish you can have up to 50, but if you just buy, let's say carp is 20, trout is 20, let's go carp. Just buy 2 of those, and we'll put corn on. And we'll put soya on, so they'll be sharing that with the ostriches. We need some rye, some lupin, and some wheat. Come up here, trade, item, rye. 250. 250 is more than you need, actually, but there is a delay between ordering it and getting it, so I always like to have a bit of a buffer. Rye, lupin. What did I say? I always forget. Wheat, rye, lupin, and wheat. So we don't need to give them all of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the soya off. That means that these get the addition. They get all the soya, and these don't get any soya. But you can see it's still 100%, which means they breed at the quickest possible rate, and they produce the most amount of fish meat. So wheat. Let's go in here. Just add wheat. 250. Okay, that's it. You're up and running. So now, at this point, with the winter, well, the winter's still 168 days away, so I won't talk about that just yet. There's no need to. But you can see we're starting to produce a little bit of manure and some ostrich eggs. And we can come in here and we can, again, on the trade market, if we filter at the top here, it makes life a little bit easier. We should have eggs popping up here somewhere. That's interesting. No eggs. I'm sure we had an egg. Yeah, 2 eggs. Where the hell are they then? Okay, I don't know what's happening with the eggs. Maybe it's just a time delay thing. I'm sure they'll be there eventually. Or maybe... No, there definitely should be eggs. We got 6 manure and 6 eggs. Now that's telling me... Small ostrich farm. You don't have the right warehouse or site of resources nearby for manure. Indeed, for manure. So ostriches also produce manure. And this here is a manure storage. So if we just pop that down there and extend the path around the side. And that's sort of fully enclosed now. And you can see that we've got 20,000 units of manure that we can store in there. And this can be used to fertilize any fields that we have. And it's pretty good, really, I suppose. I'm still not sure where the eggs are. 7 eggs. I think this is the internal warehouse. So we can hold up to 1,000 items in the internal warehouse. And then we have the external warehouse where the sort of overflow goes, if you will. We should have a couple of eggs. There we go. 15 ostrich eggs. Just took a bit of time, that's all. So if we come up here and add a trade item and we say ostrich eggs, then we can say, right, sell above, and we can just pop that in there. Now that means if you click that, it's a bit of a weird workaround. I think that means just basically keep all of it. Maximum amount, okay? So that's what? 1 million units of eggs? So once you've got 1 million units of eggs, then start selling them. But that's a bit too many. So I'm going to just say 5. So as soon as we have 5 eggs, and at the moment we've got 22, it will start selling them. But we'll always keep 5. So if we go into the sell option, and we filter by products, is it? Yes, eggs. And we click on the egg itself, you can see that it's selling for 34.93 units per unit, that is. So we're going to get 22 times 34.93, which equates to 769. And you can see that the price fluctuates all the time. I don't think I've ever seen this change in real time, but every day I think it changes, it updates. So the price is going up at the moment, but the price is actually quite low. We were getting sort of nearly 30 per unit at the moment. Hang on, that doesn't make sense. Okay, that actually doesn't tally. 34.93 is not what we're being told here, unless... No, even that doesn't tally. Alright, well, potentially that's a bug. Potentially that's a bug, because that doesn't tally with the price, and I've only ever just noticed that right now, but that's how the system works. To be honest with you, I don't look at this too much. I kind of focus on this, and I look at this value here. That's what really matters. So we should sell a few of those for 769, and that should be automated. You can see we've only got 5 units now because the rest have been automatically sold, and that happens every single week. Now, it would be nice if in the trade system we had the ability to say, if we've got 5 or more and the price is this or more, then sell them. Otherwise, hold on to them. I'd also like to see things like eggs go out of date. I don't like the idea of being able to hold on to an ostrich egg for a year and then selling it at a super price. I think that's too easy. So I'd like to see that changed. But right now, that's how it is. Okay. So we're doing pretty good. How many? You can see we got 10 fish already because their food quality is of the highest quality. And the ostriches, they still haven't reproduced. They take a bit of time, I guess. And you may have to call in the vet. I'm not 100% sure. With the cows, you certainly do need to. With the ostriches, I imagine you need to. But we'll see. We'll wait for that to happen. All right. So, we're doing pretty well. We have lost... Well, we haven't lost. We've spent out quite a bit. We're coming in here to the finances. You can see that we had a slight upward momentum where we sold the tractor, or we did something, we sold some stuff, and so on and so forth. You can see over here how much you spent. If you just want to see your income, you just flick the switch there. You can see 7 ostrich eggs, and it's 246. Wind farm profit 4,601. That's per month. So it's going to take 10 months to cover the cost of one of those machines, slightly less. So we're going to have, basically it's going to take 4 years before the wind farms start earning us money. And they can break down, so they will have to be repaired, which will also cost you money as well. But on the most part, wind farms are a good, easy, simple money-making scheme. So it's going to make you about 4,000 a month, which in this game is not a lot of money, but when you're starting out, it's certainly a noticeable, significant amount. Okay, let's move on to something else. Let's build ourselves a little Actually, let's build ourselves a big greenhouse. I'm going to whack a big old greenhouse. In fact, I'm going to whack the greenhouse here. I'm going to put a little road down. I'm going to build another greenhouse here. And I'm going to put a little road down. Now, these do need employees in order to work the warehouse. But what they don't need is permanent employees. What you can have are seasonal employees. You can use permanent employees, and it's probably a good idea to have at least one permanent employee per greenhouse. So we've got 2 greenhouses. Let's come in here and see if we can find somebody who's good with not orchards but plants. So she's perfect. Layla Hawkins. I'm going to select her. And Oliver Mills, also very good with plants. And also has good endurance, which is nice. So you see I've selected those 2. I'm not going to do anything with them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. I'm going to type in blackcurrant. So blackcurrant plant. We need 324 units, which is going to cost us 4,807 quid. Takes 50 days per cycle growth. Estimated yield size is 324 units, and we'll earn 4,682 for each of those returns. So every 50 days we'll earn that much money. Now I'm going to do the same thing here, except I'm going to click this bio button, and you can see that the bio icon has now appeared. So if we look at the value of things now, again 324 units, but 7,216 to buy those. Still 50-day growth time. Estimated yield size is the same, but we're going to earn a little bit more money. Not quite twice as much, but pretty close. So you can see now we've got an icon above here that's telling us that we've got no employees to come and work in this greenhouse. And that's because this greenhouse is currently being ploughed, and as a result of that, they're all coming in. So there's nobody to work in here. Now, the manure thing has automatically switched to manure, which is cool. It didn't used to do that. You notice here, we've got this fertilizer, this chemical fertilizer. Now, you don't have to use chemical fertilizer in this field. In this greenhouse, you can pick manure or liquid manure if you so choose. But in the bio, you must use natural, no chemicals allowed. That's the point of organic. It's all organic. So now it automatically swaps to that, but it never used to. So that's a nice little quality of life change there. Although there is an argument that if I get it wrong, it's my fault and I should pay the price. But it's fair enough. It works. It does the job. Now you can see that we've got these nice new UI systems, and it will tell you not only what stage comes next, but also what stage you are within that stage. So at the moment they're ploughing, and you can see it's about 75% done, and that little thing is going to keep going around until that's finished, and then they'll cultivate, then they'll plant, and then they'll seed it. I'm not sure what these 2 are. We'll have to wait until we get to them. Then they'll spray it with... we come down here, you can see we've got anti-weed, anti-insect, and anti-fungus. Now you need to do that for both of them, but one of them can use chemical insecticides, and the other one has to use natural insecticides, which increases the cost. So let's get some employees first. Actually, no, let's get the insecticide first. So if we come in here and we say trade, and we add a trade item, and we say anti, you can see that we've got 2 of each. We've got a bio and a non-bio. So if we click on the non-bio and say I want 100 units of that at all times, I definitely think they could make this better. This UI, that is. But it works. It's functional. Anti, anti, anti. Oops, nearly didn't click on it. Now this stuff is really expensive. So it's a pain in the ass. But if you haven't got any, you're going to have big problems. Going to really dramatically reduce your yield, and you're going to have a bit of a nightmare. So that's all been ordered. That will all come in now. Let's start the next thing. Let's get built a house for seasonal employees. Now you can see that the house for seasonal employees has the door on a different... It's a different building to start with, but the door and the access to it is on a different angle. So we'll just accommodate that and build it as such. Now up here you've got the day and the month, and when this is built you will be able to select the months at which people arrive and the month at which they leave. So the 1st of the 3rd, and we send them home on the 1st of December. Now, winter starts somewhere in the middle of December, so you might want to change that. There's actually a little bit of a hack there. It's like a cheat, where if you send them home whilst they're in the middle of getting fruit in from a field or a greenhouse or whatever, then they will continue working for free even after you've sacked them. So there's a bug there that I don't particularly like, but yeah, anyway. So you can see we just gained our first employee, and you can adjust the money that you're going to pay them and the hours that they work. That will entice them to come in sooner rather than later. So we've just got one employee at the moment, and you can see that she hopefully, there you go, she's just been assigned to the greenhouse, and there she is. She's now helping out, making the life easier for the employees that we have. All right, good. So we're flowing quite nicely. We have organic, we have non-organic, and we have ostriches, which are creating manure, which we are using to put on the greenhouse. So how many units of ostrich stuff have we got? Not that many. Where am I looking here? The mouse is a bit sensitive, by the way. So I'm trying to click on this. I'm actually going to click on that. You have to sort of aim below it, sometimes above it. Okay, so we've got 360 units of manure. That's probably enough to keep one greenhouse going, but we'll keep an eye on that as is. So what I'm not going to do is sell the blackcurrant straight away. I want to let it come in, and I want to filter it. Now, in the sell item, you've obviously got things like, let's say you go boom, 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 boom. And you're like, oh, hang on, I didn't check the prices. If you click on the actual icon, then it will give you the prices and the information for each of those. I'm not sure if the pricing is correct. That one looks okay. 144, 120, that looks right. 2178, see, that's wrong. So I don't know what's going on there with that. That's a bug I've only just noticed. I'll tell the devs about it. But you can see the honey money is already bringing in 20 grand. The honey money is a real sweet option. Sorry, there was a joke there that I just couldn't resist. How are we doing with the fish? We've now gone up to 50 of 50. So you can sell. You can go back down to 2 if you want. But it's going to dramatically reduce the amount of fish that you have and the amount of meat that you're making. So if we drop down to 25, I reckon within about a month, we'll be back up to 50. Fish with 100% food will reproduce super, super quick. Okay? So there's a kind of a self-sufficient little farm. It will tick over. We've just gone into autumn. And this is our first year. So we've spent just under $500,000. And at the end of next year, I would have thought we would be close to probably close to having recovered all of that. It's a bit of a gamble quote, that, I'm not sure. But in the interest of this tutorial, I will sit and let the whole of next year play through, and we'll see just how much money we make in a year. And I won't add anything to it, just on the build that you've got here. But let's move on, because we've still got stuff to do. So if you want to start building fields, let's say that you don't like the idea of buying all this produce in order to feed your animals, then you will have to start growing and maintaining and sorting it out yourself. So if we come over here to the farmhouse, you can see that you've got the option to upgrade the building. What that does is it allows you to build different field sizes. So if we have a field size, say here, let's go with maximum field size, which is currently 52 by 52. And I'm going to select that, and we're going to put some corn in here. I'm not going to go organic, but we're going to go corn. Now you can see we got a little icon pop up here. And that's because there is a lot of equipment that we need in order to do just a simple job like this. So what we're going to need is a lot more garages. And in order to put the garages down, we do need to have some electricity. So let's pop this back here. Connect that up to the nearest location. We now have electricity over here, and I can start building some garages. So let's drop some garages in here. Now you're probably going to need quite a lot of garages, truth be told. That might not be enough, but it's a good place to start. You can see how close you can build them together, which in itself is maybe not the most realistic thing in the world, but we'll argue that a good tractor driver would be able to basically park a trailer anywhere he likes. So it will be absolutely fine. So they've got electricity and they're all ready to go. So let's have a look and see what we need for this. We're going to need a chest trailer, a Xena combine, a 7-meter corn reaper. Now I think you can buy the bigger one. So it should really just say a corn reaper, or I don't know. It just should give you more information anyway. A sprayer, a trailer with water, a precision seeder, a fertilizer spreader, an ester cultivator, a lily plough, and at least a Rega tractor or bigger. So let's go have a look. Pause that a second. I don't want this to go on past the year. Let's upgrade this building. So you can see it's changed in its shape. One thing that happens is that there's an area here to park vehicles. In the first building, it has no cover. In the second building, it has a roof. And I think in the third building, it will actually have a full garage there. Now, the benefit of that is that it allows your vehicles to be less damaged over time. Right, we're going to do the same here. Corn. We'll whack that in there and we'll upgrade a third time. So now you can see it's a full-on garage. Still only the same size as it was before, but you can see it's turned into like a bit of a castle now. That's the maximum. Oh no, it has actually grown in size. I tell a lie. It is the first time I've done this. Yes, it is. So it's actually 6 units in size, and it's fully enclosed now, which will keep your machines in tip-top condition for even longer. Now, one thing that's important to note is that your mechanic has a range where he can operate. So he will only fix machines that are stored in a garage within that circle. And equally, fields that need equipment must be located in an area where a garage is placed. Now they've expanded the distance that the garages can go, which is great because I did complain about that in my review. So now it's even bigger than a square, which is perfect, I think, and that makes far more sense, and it's going to be a lot better, a lot more realistic, and a lot more enjoyable to play with that in place. So you don't need to worry about that too much. But when you start expanding, if you put a field over here, for example, then none of these garages will be able to reach them, and you won't be able to get any work done. So just bear that in mind. So we've gone to the maximum size. I'm not sure if we can fit this in here. Nope. Okay, we'll have to put it down over here. Too big for there. It's absolutely enormous. Let's try in this corner, see if that... Yeah, just about. So you can see the different field sizes, and obviously the bigger a field is, the better, because you're going to get a more yield out of it in a single hit. That's the whole point of it. Now, every single element, including the fields, needs to have road access. So you can see we've got the icon here telling us that we have no road access. So just that is enough. You don't need to go crazy. Again, I can just connect this up here, and that now has road access. It's as simple as that. You don't have to go mental. You don't have to completely surround it. I always tend to do that, but you don't actually have to do that, which actually is kind of more realistic, I'd say. Right. So let's get on and let's buy the equipment that we need. So if I come over, here, and just have a look at the combines, because we need a Rodon. Oh, damn, I was really hoping for is it a Xena or a Rodon I need? Will it accept a Xena? Oh, it will. Perfecto. So if we come over here, pick a combine, you can see we've got a Xena there. It's 37%. So that's only going to cost us 101,000. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to stick it in the garage, purely because it's right next to the mechanics. So he's literally going to come across the road and fix it. Let's just speed up time a little bit here. We'll click on that and we'll set it to 90%. That's the most he can repair it. It will never be 100% because it's used. But at 90%, it will be typically tip-top condition. Okay, in order for us to drive tractors, we don't need to have skilled machinists like Daisy Woods here, but if you do have skilled machinists, then when they're using the equipment, it will be damaged less. So it is worth having these maxed out if you can. So I'm going to hire her. And ideally, I need one more person, but at the moment, well, I suppose she'll do. But she'll probably be snapped up. Now, one of the problems in the game at the moment is when you hire these people, so I've hired these two to work on my tractors, what will inevitably happen is that they get dragged in to work on the on the greenhouses. Whatever needs to be done, they'll be dragged away. Now, I've spoken to the devs. I've told them, it was in my review, that needs to change, and it is changing. So watch out for positive changes there. We will have better control over what our employees are doing and when. But for now, they will get taken. And the only way to get them, so for example, if this needs to be done, they'll basically be auto-assigned by the farm manager, I think they call it. But if you wanted to assign them to a beehive or something else, you wanted to make them go do a job, you would have to wait for them to go back to the house and relax. Then you can reassign them. That's going to change, so don't worry about it. At the moment, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but in time, that'll be fine. So I've got my Xena Combine. I'm going to repark that. I'm going to put it over here. Now you see that takes up an entire garage because the thing is enormous. Let's grab some of the other things we need. We need a lily plow. We'll have to buy that new. Now I wish it didn't spin around when you're trying to place stuff. It is a bit of a pain, but you can put it anywhere. So I'll show you that again one more time. We also need cultivator. So I'll buy the used one. I'll buy that. So if I pick garage 1 and I think, oh, actually, I don't want to put it there. I want to put it over here. You can do that. You just put it wherever you like. You couldn't do that originally. But again, the devs are really hot on this stuff this time round. And we all complained about it and they fixed it. And now you can just put it anywhere. The next thing I want them to do is stop that camera because it's horrible. What else do I need here? I need a trailer with water. Oh, I need a precision seeder. So let's buy that again. I wish the camera didn't do that. It's a bit of a pain. And okay, the precision seeder can go in there. And right, let's get a tractor. So we've got the orchard tractors. These are brilliant little runaround things. They're nice and cheap. I really like them. I'm going to buy one just because it's on offer. It's on offer. It needs to be repaired, but it's fine. I'm quite happy to do that. But what we need for this particular job is one of these bigger tractors. Now, I can't buy either of them used and fix them up, so I'd have to pay full price, which I don't want to do. But that is the only way around it. Unless, of course, you come down here to lease for 24 months. Now, it's going to cost you £2,062 per month for 24 months. So it's going to be more expensive than it would be if you bought it this way, but not by much, to be honest. And at the end of the lease, which is nice, you get to keep it. Now, personally, I feel like that's a bit of a cheaty situation, but it's okay. It does the job. Maybe it will change in the future. Maybe it will be a little bit more difficult to get access to these things. Who knows? So, what are they doing here? Cultivate? Surely this little tractor isn't good enough to cultivate. Is it going to go in and get the cultivator? Be very surprised. It's going to plough. So these little tractors, I really like them. Ideally, they're for the orchards only because they're small and they can get in between the trees and stuff. But actually, I find them really versatile. And what you can do is you can park 6 of them in a garage, whereas you can only get 3 of these bigger tractors. So for little jobs like this, they're absolutely perfect. I didn't actually realise he would be able to plough, so that's a bit of a bonus, bit of a Brucey bonus. What I tend to have them do, or what I like to see them do, is pick up the trailers and drive around with those. Speaking of which, we need to get a trailer. Let's grab a trailer. Chest trailer, we'll go for 78% used. It's a little bit cheaper. Oh, that's already taken up. All right, we'll pop it in over here then. So that's good. Click on it. Get it up to 100%. Get our mechanic on the job. Let's see if we can grab a couple more things. Let's grab another plough. You can see we're filling up space super quick here. So I've got a second plough there, which means the second tractor can now come out and grab that and hopefully start on the next field. What won't happen is that this tractor here won't finish this field and then immediately start working on this field. Unfortunately, he'll take everything back and park up and somebody else will come and take over the job. That's a little bit of a niggly AI system, but I think it'll be fine in the end. I think it works. It's just about workable. So you can see here the water condition. It's raining right now. You can see the overall health condition. You can see the number of people who are working on the field. It says over here. If you click on allow manual work by employees, then if you don't have a tractor, you can go out there and by hand, you can plough it, you can cultivate it. It takes a lot longer. I'm not sure there's any benefit to it, to be totally honest with you. I think the best way to do it is definitely with the tractor. So, let's move on. I can't remember what else I need. What else do I need? Let's check here. Do I need a fertilizer spreader? Of course I do. Come in here and type fertilizer spreader again. We got one at 71%, so I'll grab that because it works for us. Now, if you buy one at 100%, it'll probably last that little bit longer, I would have thought, but it's fine. It works, it works, it works. What else do I need for in here? Sprayer, the water, and the reaper. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little thing here that the game doesn't really tell you. So you've got an orchard sprayer here. It's 1x2, working width is 10. You've got another sprayer here, which is 1x1, so it takes up less space in the garage. But again, it's got a working width of 10. This is 20,000. That's 18,000. So you can buy both if you want. I do hate that camera. I really hate that camera. You see that takes up 2 slots. But if we come over here and check the situation, you can see that the sprayer, excuse me, the sprayer is for spraying chemicals, etc. So it's quite bigger. Sorry, I got myself a little bit confused there. The water sprayer is actually quite big. We're going to have to probably stick it in here, I think. Let's go get the water sprayer. Boom. So that's 4 squares wide. It's going to move this. I'll repark this over here. I'm going to grab another one of those little tractors because at the moment, look at that. 9,000 for a tractor, which we just sort of immediately repair and have up to 99% working condition. And what's nice is you can see visibly that this one is, you know, a little bit old, a little bit knackered, whereas this one's quite clean and new and tidy. Really nice little features in the game. So you can see whilst this is ploughing quite nicely, these are clearly not capable of cultivating, so they haven't taken on that job. And one thing that's a little frustrating, I hope to see changed in the future, is I can't swap this tractor for this tractor. I would like to be able to say, little green tractor, take over this job and you go and do that job over there, but you can't do that, which is a little bit of a shame, but that's okay. Right, to speed up time, get these jobs done, I'm going to whack some corn in here as well. Except this time we'll go bio. Now, these ostriches alone are not, these 2 ostriches alone are not going to produce enough manure to cover all of the work that we want them to do. So instead, we're going to let them breed. Now, they're ready to breed and we can call the vet, or we can actually hire or employ our own vet. Now, by doing this, the vet will automatically inseminate the ostriches, so this job will be taken off your hands and they will do it automatically. You'll see in a second that will disappear and then we'll have a 3rd ostrich here. Boom, job done. Same thing applies if they get sick or ill. That will all be automated, so you won't have to worry about it. It's a hell of a lot less stressful to have the vet take care of all that stuff and allow you to just sort of tickle away and do whatever it is you want. So, what stage are we at now? We've got 2 fields out here. You can see he's ploughing away quite nicely. And the cultivating is happening. And excellent, the little green one is capable of using the manure spreader. So that's chucking fertilizer all over the place, which is great. We'll just come over here and check how much we've got left. Only 145. So we probably need to do something about that. Let's go right ahead and build ourselves a cow shed. There's a small cow shed. I'm just going to whack it. Actually, I'm going to whack it. Where am I going to whack it? I'm going to whack it here. Extend the road so that it's got access. So the same thing applies. We need to get ourselves an employee. Now, if you look up here at the workers tab here, you can see we've got 7 employees of a maximum of 8. So this is the last employee that we can hire to work here. If we want any more employees, we would have to build another house. So you have to be kind of quick at the moment, otherwise she'll be assigned to another job. So we did that pretty quick. So let's go with cows. Let's buy 2 cows, and they'll be delivered fairly shortly. And then we've got to work out what they're going to eat. So we want them to eat oats, fodder beets, crops, silage and grass. Now at the moment we have none of those things. So it's important that we either grow it or we buy it in. Now if you're going to grow it, that takes a bit of time obviously, but grass and silage are produced from the same thing. So if we build ourselves a single field here, that's obviously encroaching on the fish. We're going to just build a little field here, nothing too serious, and I'm going to stick in that some grass. But if we go for bio or organic grass, then it gives us some really significant options. And every time you go organic, the price of what you sell goes through the roof. So that's always good. So in the meantime, let's come in here. Sorry, not in there. Let's come in here and get some grass. Now, if you're growing organic and you're trying to sell organic, you must remember to always pick the organic option. So I'm going to go 250. I'm going to add trade item here. Bio silage. Now, don't forget, as soon as we start growing our own silage and our own grass, this will stop buying stuff. It's only here as a fail-safe, so we make sure we never run out so we can always feed the animals. And we can change and increase this anytime we like. So setting it up early and forgetting about it is pretty much all you need to do with this. What else do they eat? They eat some oats. Again, always trying to click on the bio. It will catch you out quite often, the bio thing, and then you won't be able to feed them and you'll think, but I bought loads of it. Yeah, well, unfortunately, what you didn't do is buy the right loads of it. So you bought the wrong load of it. I think beets is the other one. There we go. Make sure we've got 250 of those. We're not actually growing any beets at the moment. That's something that we can do at a later stage. What else did I want to put on there? So we've got grass, silage, oats, beets, and crops. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't yet figured out how to make crops. And if I come in here, I wonder, can we buy it? Can we buy crops? So I'm guessing crops is something that comes from the mill, if I'm guessing. That's one thing I'm not 100% sure on, actually. Most of the game I've figured out, but that's certainly one area. So if you know how to make the crops, then please let me know in the comment section. That'd be really helpful. So in order to do this, we need to get a seed drill, a mower, a windrower, and a self-loading trailer. Now this is the thing. The expense of building the garages alone is a bit of a hindrance to expanding into growing your own crops and such. You're going to need a lot of them. So you can see whilst they're still being built, I can't place them in there. Some of these items are bigger than others. I think they're complaining about road access and electricity. Let me just fix that and then we'll do it again. Where is that electricity pylon? There. So I'm going to swing it across there like that. There you go. Fairly neat and tidy-ish. Let's come in here. We get our self-loading trailer. We'll have to buy that new because we don't have one. I really wish it wouldn't do that with the camera. There's no need for that now. The way that the system works now, they could do away with that speedy camera thing altogether. We need a mower. We'll buy a used one. Every time you take me over to that garage. And in addition to that, need to get the mechanic to come and fix it so that it works. And what else do we need? We need a windrower. Okay, that's groovy. That's all in there nicely. I think there's something else we needed. What was it? Ah, the seed drill, of course, yes. Type in here, seed drill, and buy. Fantastic. So that should be the grass ready, up and running fairly soon. Now that we have both No warehouse. Now, sometimes the error messages you get are somewhat confusing. See, we've got all these errors here. Manure spreader. We don't have a manure spreader. Well, we do have a manure spreader. It's just that they don't have one at the moment. I'm hoping that the error messages are going to get improved because they are confusing and they will make you do things that you don't think you should do. I think my cows died. One way to really upset your staff is to allow your animals to die. So the employee that we had here is probably not very happy right now. He's only 30% happy. I think 2 animals died because I didn't get the food in quick enough. Not enough resources for the beat. So are you telling me they can't reach that? They can reach that. Is this full? You have to do a bit of investigative work sometimes. But what have you not got access to? Soya, wheat. Oh, that's the fish farm. Not enough oats, not enough fodder beets. No warehouse, small cowshed 1. The grass. Oh, the grass. Of course, right. So in order to store grass, we need the other kind of warehouse, which is called a barn. If I just build a barn and whack that here, then that error message will go away. I really do feel like the error messaging system needs to be slightly improved. Just the simple case of using the words like barn instead of warehouse would really streamline your ability to get these problems fixed and resolved more quickly. So I'm going to whack this behind them here and we'll connect it up to the nearest electrical point, and that should resolve all of those problems. So in the warehouse you can see that we're going to hold the silage, we're going to hold the grass, we're going to hold the crops, which I was telling you about earlier that I don't actually know how to make. So they should have some food anyway, because the beets would have been stored in the warehouse and the oats would have been stored in here, I think. Is where oats go? Yeah. We don't have any, interestingly. Let me just check and make sure that I've got this trade set up correctly. Yeah, so we should have 100 units of oats at all times. But I guess the cows eat that pretty quickly. So we're going to start off with 2 cows, and they should breed, and they should be fine. The current food quality is nothing. I think we're just waiting on Phoebe to actually go and get the food. Is this her? There is Phoebe. Let's find her. You can see the camera when they're following characters is a bit erratic. So Phoebe is having a rest. Okay, Phoebe's having a rest. All the animals are dying, but Phoebe's having a rest. That's absolutely fine. I'm sure Phoebe will come and sort that out in a minute. Now this is telling me that we don't have a warehouse for the ostrich farm, for the manure. So we filled this up, this manure area. So that's probably what the other error was as well. If we just whack a couple more of these in, because we know we're going to need a lot more with all the fields that we've just built. So now we've got 3 units, which gives us a maximum of 60,000. So we've got 20,000 units of manure at the moment. But a lot of that is going to be gone on these fields. So as long as we can hold more than we need, then we should be all fine moving forwards. No manure spreader. That is my bad. I do need to buy a manure spreader. And where should we pop this? They're quite big, the manure spreaders. There we go. Right, that's that done. In fact, I might even buy 2 just to streamline that process. Right, there we go. Oh, come on, camera, get off. The camera's being a right pain in the bottom right now. And all the employees have gone home. It's the 1st of December. So all of the seasonal employees have gone home, which means we only have 8 people working on the farm right now. Now, in the winter, you can't do anything with the fields at all. They all hibernate, but they should come back to life in the following year. So what I'm going to do is just probably speed through next year. I'll just leave the camera here so you can see how the whole process goes. And it should be almost completely automated now, the way that I've set it up. And we'll see. We spent 2.6, sorry, we spent 2,380,000 ish thereabouts. So we'll see at the end of next year just how much profit we can make off of these buildings that we've implemented. Oh, I haven't bought the corn reaper. Let's get that sorted real quick. So you see there's a 7 meter and a 12 meter. I'm pretty sure that we can use both, but I am going to buy both just in case. Again, I'm going to buy used, and then I can repair it. Save ourselves a few quid. So there we go. The mechanic's going to come and fix it. Now you see the mechanic's driven off, and he'll drive back again, and then he'll come and fix the other one. So I mean, there's some AI logic there. He was there fixing one. He could have fixed both, but it doesn't matter. Not the end of the world. So from this point on, I think everything is now... How has that not got a Rodon combine? Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to do. Sorry. So let me... so we need the Rodon combine for this field. Oh, this is interesting. We need the Rodon combine and the 12 meter corn reaper because it's a bigger field. Now, if that's the way they've done it, and it's the first time I've attempted this actually, then actually I think that's something that should change. If I have a small combine and a small header, then the job will take me longer. And I'm quite happy with that. But obviously the way they've coded it is that you have to have the 12 meter for the big field and the 7 meter for the small field. It's the first time I've tested that out, so it's quite interesting. This over here will also need the big combine, which we don't currently have. So let me just see if I can buy one cheap. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. We'll stick it in the garage so that it's centralized. So I want it to be able to reach all the fields. I think it will anyway. Let's just check the range here. It's difficult sometimes. Yeah, that field is covered. So that's fine. I can actually move this over here. So I can repark this over here in one of these sheds, and that'll be absolutely fine. So we've got the large header for this. Again, though, we want to change this to manure because that is not organic. This one is not organic. Didn't I do an organic one? Yes, I did. So that one's organic. So that's going to take manure. That's going to take manure. That's going to take manure. We probably haven't got enough manure with just these. So what I'm going to do is just automate real quickly. Make sure that we've got 1,000 units of manure. That's probably not going to be enough, but it will supplement this. And it basically, again, whilst we're producing our own manure, we shouldn't have to do anything. So this farm now should be completely automated. Now there's one more thing I did want to do. Let me just build real quickly here. Now this is a bug that I thought it was a bug that I'd run into. If you come here and click on corn, and click on corn seed, maybe this is what the crops thing is. I'm still not sure. It's the first time I've done this. We'll go with manure again, and we'll just look and see what we need vehicle-wise. So you can see self-propelled forage harvester. So in order to clip these, we need the chopper attachment and this particular harvester. But if you come in here, and this is where I find the game is a little confusing sometimes. If you come in here, you can see that we've got corn. Now that icon there, to me, is exactly the same as that icon there. So it's a little confusing because I bought a self-propelled forage harvester to harvest the corn on that field, but it doesn't work that way. So there are some quirks in this game that the game doesn't exactly tell you about, but you're going to have to figure out yourself. And that's one of them. I just wanted to test that out today. Can I squeeze that in there? No, it's a 6. It's a full garage-sized item, that is. I think we're going to need a couple more garages. Let's just chuck those in. And then we'll let it run. We'll let it run for the year. And you can see how profitable or non-profitable all this is. And there's more to discuss. There are more things to discuss, so don't go anywhere. Oh, what happened there? That was weird. Not sure what happened there. Okay, so we'll get the roads in, make sure they're all covered. And what we'll do, whilst we've got the cash and the time and the money and the willingness to do it, is just discuss a few last things in the last 10 days we've got before winter sets in. Before the end of the year, rather. So this logistics building is quite useful. What it does is it speeds up the movement of goods between your warehouses, and it also speeds up when you have deliveries come in, they stop here and they get out of the truck and they take the stuff into here. It's much quicker if they pull into the logistics building because it doesn't hold up other vehicles. It's not a massive time saver, to be honest with you. The logistics building is a bit of a quirk more than anything else, but it does at times speed things up and does have some benefits to that. One last thing I'm going to do is build a manufacturing. Now, production is an area. In fact, let's get this down first of all. I forgot to put this in. So this is a a silage plant. This will convert grass into silage, which we will feed to the cows. It's a very simple process. You don't need to do anything with it per se. But what we will need, as already discussed, is another permanent employee building. So where should I stick this? Will it fit in that gap? Beautiful. So I'm going to put a permanent employee here. We need that for this, but we're also going to start manufacturing, production. So there's a whole different type of manufacturing you can do. A mill makes all the grain and the linseed and poppy seeds and stuff like that. The slaughterhouse does what you expect. The milk processing plant allows you to take the milk from the cows and turn it into cheeses. The fruit processing plant allows you to take the fruit and turn it into jams and fruit juices. The vegetable processing plant allows you to take any vegetables that you grow and turn them into juices as well, frozen peas, that kind of stuff. But it's the frozen food factory that I think makes the most sense. I would love it if everything went out of date, if it was left too long. Currently that doesn't happen, but just having a frozen food plant actually makes you quite a bit more money anyway. It adds value to your products. So let's get a couple of employees. Now what we need here, if you click on the manure, you can see production. So this house here, you can rename it as the production employees, if that's what you want. And then what we're doing here is we're looking for people with endurance is always good, but what we're looking for is manufacturing in this particular instance. Endurance is good, but manufacturing is what we're after. I'm just going to hire them anyway so that I can just get this done. So you can see that Charlotte Bates is good. Well, actually, let's go with Jake because he's strong, and I kind of feel like silage management is something that requires a bit of strength. And what we can do is we can increase his endurance to 100%. It's instant, which is really nice. And at some point, we can train him a second skill. So I can train him to be better at manufacturing, which will increase the amount of yield we get from the silage as well. So let's make sure that that's running. I think we've got 7 days. No, I don't want to skip winter. I just want to speed up. Oh, there is an additional button. I always read that as... No, it doesn't matter. That's a me bug. Not enough resources. Straw. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. So in the silage plant, you can produce different types of silage. You can take it from grass, you can take it from biograss, you can take it from crops and turn it into silage. What we're doing, because we're growing biograss, is choose the grass. Now, it has to be biograss because we are trying to produce bio cows or something. Bio something. Why have we got no cows again? My cows die again. Something went wrong there. That's my mistake. Ignore that. They'll be fine from this point on because I've got everything set up now. So what we're going to do over here in the frozen section. See the winter's coming in. Silage should start building up. Any minute now. Any minute now. Now, one thing I will say is if you've got fruit fields, then most of those need to be picked by hand, and you will need a lot of seasonal employees for that. Same with the orchards. If you build orchards, they need to be plucked by hand, so you'll need a lot of employees for that. But what I tend to do, because fruit fields, the orchards rather, only yield once a year, so you only need them for like 2 months. So I have dedicated seasonal workers that just turn up and work for 2 months, and that's that. Right, so we need to grab some employees here. You can see that unfortunately, our employee that we hired for this job has already been stolen and is probably working over here. Yeah, there she is. Charlotte Bates, I believe, is the lady that I hired for this job. So we'll just try and grab a couple more real quick. Hopefully we'll get lucky. Ah, there we go. Daniel Walker. Now, obviously, the more people you have working in the factory, the faster you're going to churn out stuff. But just one person is enough to get it up and running. So what we're going to do here in this particular instance is, are we making cod or trout? I think we're doing cod, aren't we? Are they bio cod? I can't remember. Let me just check. I think these are just normal cod. Check here. Cod. Cod. Carp. Cod. Why am I saying cod? It's carp. That's why. So carp meat, no, they're not bio. So what we're going to do is we're going to freeze non-bio carp, which I think is this one. Is that carp meat? And we'll turn that into frozen carp. And that should start producing immediately. Now, it has an internal warehouse of 1,000 units. So what it's going to do is it's going to take this and put it in there. Why for we no have food again? What's going on here? Not enough resources. Maybe I need to buy more. Let's go into trade. Oops. That's 250 units. That should be enough. 250 units. That should be enough. Why don't we have... Oh, because we've got organic. I bought organic stuff. Things like this do kind of get on my nerves a little bit. So the reason why all the cows died is because I didn't click the use organic food option. So there we go. I've clicked that, and now they should, instead of dying, they should thrive and be fine. You've got to watch out for these things because it will turn around and bite you in the butt sometimes. Hopefully she's going to go get some food. Feed the cows. Hopefully. So what you can't do here, this is, I guess this is an important point, isn't it? What you can't do here is mix and match. You can't have standard grass and organic silage. It has to be one or the other. So you just have to make sure that the stuff that you're buying in is the right stuff, not the wrong stuff. And then you need to make sure that you select to use organic food if that's what you want them to do. But in order to do that, in order to produce bio-organic cow milk, you do need to have everything organic from start to finish. What's going on here, Phoebe? Why are you not feeding these animals? We have food now. Silage, crops, grass. We have everything we need. Oh, stop clicking on that. Please feed animals. There we go. And now they're producing milk. Right. Okay, so that's that all fixed and working finally. Last thing I need to do is buy this 5-meter chopper attachment. Now again, I find it quite frustrating that I'm dictated to. I can't use a 9-meter on that field. In terms of real farming, you would probably start off with the smaller one because it's all you can afford, but you would eventually like to expand and use the bigger one. So you don't have that option in the game. You can't. So if you buy everything you need to produce the crops in this field, then at the end of the day, you can't then build a bigger field and use the same equipment. You will have to upgrade your equipment, which is a bit of a shame. I'd actually quite like to see that changed because it would be more realistic not to be like that. So what I'm going to do last thing is I'm just going to buy some trailers. Another thing you can't do, which is a little frustrating, is buy multiple things at once. I'd like to buy 5 trailers or 3 trailers. 1, 2, 3, job done. But instead I have to sort of do this, this again, that whole camera thing, which I don't like, and then this. Not the end of the world. It's just a little frustrating. Could be more streamlined. Simple as that. Right, so we've got lots of chest things now, and I think everything is in place. It's not streamlined. It's not designed to be streamlined. It was just a tutorial to get you up and running. Try and teach you how everything works. I think I've covered everything in the game. If there's anything that I haven't mentioned that you'd like to know about, please do let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely address it. But I'm going to speed through right now, and you can see the entirety of next year, and then we'll see if it's profitable or not. So we've got 1.6 million, which is more than enough to see us through the winter, and at the end we'll see how much profit we've made from start to finish, with the exception of the ostrich eggs, which we're automatically selling every time we have more than 5. So yeah, I'll see you at the end of the video. So one thing that I think we're going to have to do is just check on the cows real quick. There's something they haven't got. Oats organic. I think I ordered in the wrong kind of oats. Just check that real quick. Okay, that's fixed. They're not dying. They've got more than enough food. I could even turn that off, but just to accommodate them 100%, thought I'd add to that. And I just want to make sure that the warehouse is actually big enough to accommodate all of the stuff that we're collecting. Where is my warehouse? Is that my warehouse? Yeah, so that's nearly full already. So I'm going to have to build more warehouses. What you can do in training is actually increase the amount that warehouses can hold. But it's certainly an area where you're going to get the constant need to improve and upgrade. I'll just chuck in a few extra warehouses there, just to make sure that we don't run out of space throughout the year. 4 might not even be enough. Same with the barn. We might hit our limit there, but can always chuck in another one. But yeah, just a small interjection there, just to make sure that we didn't run out of space, which we very nearly did. So good job I jumped in. Back to it. I'm just going to interject slightly and check and see what's going on here. So we've got a staff numbers issue here that's stopping the grass from being done, and obviously this field over here. So we've got some gaps. I'm just going to fill that up with some more employees. Which is ideal. And again, this is one of the problems with the game at the moment that is going to be fixed soon, is that you cannot dictate where your people work. You don't have control over that at the moment, which is a bit of a problem. So the manufacturing is now 100%, but that doesn't help us with the farm. So I may even need to employ some, build a new building. Just to make sure we have enough workers to actually get the jobs done. Probably benefit us to have a couple of extra tractors as well. How many of those little green ones did I buy in the end? Just 2. I could probably get a couple more of those. Ideally, I guess you want 1 tractor per big field. So we should have probably 3. Let's see if I can grab another one. 90% new, 55. We'll take that. And we'll repair that. Something I realised I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the sprayer, and I got confused between the sprayer and the water. There are 2 types of sprayer. one of which, if you're using orchards, you have to have, which I think is probably out and being used. But again, if I just show you the difference between the two. So you've got the orchard sprayer, which is 1x2 in size, so it takes up more space in the garage. These are smaller, but they both actually work the same width. It's just that this can be used with a small tractor, and this has to have 200 units of power. If you come and look at the orchard tractor, you can see this has only got 150 units of power. This has got 400. This has got 500. So in order to use the bigger one, you need to have a bigger tractor, effectively. So let's just grab a couple of bits and bobs. I mean, our expenses are pretty high. I'd be surprised if we get back to 4 million, but maybe if we can make £1 million a year, then this has been a success, I guess. So we've got a big tractor, and I'm also going to buy... I thought I saw a little tractor for cheap, or did I already grab it? We'll just grab one more. There we go. Oh, I did grab it. It's there, I think, isn't it? Cool. Right, so there should be, hopefully, let's just grab a few people here, enough employees to get all the jobs done. And leave enough people to actually work on the tractors, because that's the problem we have at the moment. Let's hope that's the case. Let's jump back into full speed, and I'm as interested as you are, hopefully, that to see how much profit we make at the end of the year. Lots of expenses, but this farm should effectively run itself from this point on. I just want to make sure that is organic. Yes, it is. Still waiting on staff. Okay. Quickly check the warehouses. We're about a third full. It's going to be tight. I might need a couple more warehouses, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So what's quite interesting there, I think, is that the larger of the two combines is working on the smaller field. So is it possible, even though it says it isn't, for the smaller one to work on the larger field? We shall have to wait and see on that front. I'm as eager as you are to see how much money we've made this year. I'd like to think we've pulled in 500,000, 1.5 million, I mean. I think it will be less than that for a number of reasons. One thing, I'm not selling the cows or utilizing the meat that they're producing. Same with the ostriches. I haven't sold any of the ostriches this year. There's a lot of profit that I could have made just from doing that. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is the situation we're in. I'm trying to leave it to be completely automated, and that's how it is. If I actually added a abattoir, then I could process... I'm not sure if you can process the ostriches, but you can certainly process the cows, and then that would add even more money to the farm per year in an automated way. Pretty much the same way as the frozen stuff works, except that you get... It has to be within range of the cow shed that you want to use as the abattoir. And you basically dictate and say, as soon as you have more than 2 cows, I want you to take the excess cows and process those. So that's how that would work. That would bring in a lot of extra cash as well. And still, I mean, the key problem here Summer's just arrived. The key problem here is always... yeah, I thought maybe the barn might fill up. No, the barn hasn't filled up. Oh, I need a silo. The silo's filled up, is it? Yep, the silo's filled up. Okay, let me just build a massive silo. Perfect. So yeah, every single product needs to have a warehouse, and obviously it's split into 3 different types of warehouses. Corn, it would appear, is going into a silo and not into the warehouse, which I originally suspected it would do. We also don't have a baler. I'm not sure, did I buy a baler? No, I didn't buy a baler. So obviously there's no chaff from this, so we're not going to do that. But the biggest problem with the game at the moment, and it will change, they are working on it, is the fact that although I hired people specifically to work on the tractors, they are getting taken and used on other projects. And that means that all the fields sort of get left behind. So it's a big problem. And you can see there that the big Rodon is definitely doing this field. And I don't think the small combine will be able to do this. Maybe the small combine can't fit the 12-meter corn reaper. I wonder if I could just check that. Does it tell me what it works? Yeah, so that works with both. So 7-meter corn reaper, that works with both. So I don't understand why the game tells me that I need to have a Rodon when the Xena, according to this, would be perfectly suitable for that particular field and that particular situation. So I'm not sure how that works. Personally, I would like to see, the ability to use either combine and either head based on what I can afford and what I want to do. If it takes me longer, it takes me longer. I think that's the way it should be. I'm not entirely sure if that's the way it is. But yeah, I think things are going pretty well. Obviously, I'm having to keep an eye on it. It takes about an hour at super fast speed to get through a year. If you haven't watched any of my Let's Play series, please do go over and check those out. Just bear in mind, if you are going to go watch those, that I started playing those before the game was released. So a lot of my time was identifying and finding bugs and having to deal with those bugs and suffer the consequences of those bugs. But by doing that, I have, I think, in some way at least, helped the devs to identify and fix all the problems and make this game as great as it is now. And it's just going to get better, trust me. So yeah, okay, I'm going to shut up and we'll get to the end of the year. I'm seeing that the field here is telling me that there's no warehouse. I'm just going to check this. That should be within reach of that. I don't understand why it's telling me there's no warehouse. It's certainly within the parameters. But we'll say, okay, fine, and we'll just build another one. Come and whack this over here somewhere. And hopefully that will resolve that little issue. That's still a work in progress, I think. These circles of working range or something. Certainly it doesn't, in my opinion, seem to work particularly well. That's telling me no warehouse small silo, but I don't actually need a small silo. I can use a big silo. So again, the error messaging needs to be slightly improved as well. Thinking about it, I'm wondering if it's a bio thing. No, shouldn't be. Yeah, we've got the ability to hold both organic and normal. So I don't know why it was giving me that error. So field 3 has basically run out of warehouse space, so I'm guessing this is full. Good lord, we are producing a lot of stuff this year. Normally you wouldn't do this. You wouldn't collect it all year long and then sell it at the end. You'd sell it as you go. So this is the first time I've done it this way. And I'm quite surprised actually as to how much stuff we are producing. Let me get that in the right place. I'll just quickly drop another 5-ton silo in there, and we'll keep pushing to the end of the year. Has this one filled up as well? Nearly. I think we need another barn in here as well. My goodness me. So yeah, in the space of a year, an awful lot of produce we're creating. Autumn has arrived. Sometimes the mouse gets a bit screwy. I don't know why it does that. Okay, there we go. All good. Back in the hood. Let's push to the end of the year and see how much money we've made. Unbelievably, we filled them up again. Slightly less than, but we've got so much to process, I guess. It still isn't enough to fit in there. So I'm going to put in another massive one of these 5-ton silos. And something I'm just curious about here, if I go from fast to slow... Yeah, okay, so the tractors do slow down. I just wanted to check that that was the case, because otherwise there would be an issue. So, speaking of issues, we've got a silo problem now. Now, this silo's been built, which increases our maximum yield capacity. So this one, in essence, then gets fixed. But still, I argue the fact that it's within range of this one and shouldn't even require an additional one there. So I don't know why it's doing that. I apologise. But anyway, right, we're nearly at the end of the year. Just a month to go. Okay guys, winter is here and I'll probably wrap it up at this point. So let me just clarify exactly what we've done here today. We have taken approximately 3 million in order to build a totally self-sufficient automated farm system. Now, every single year you will be able to return the same or similar amounts as you have here. And I don't know how much we're going to make off the back of this. I haven't done it already and I'm pretending this is the first time. I'm just as curious as you to see how much we can return. I'd like to get 1.5 million. 2 million would be sweet. If we got 3 million back, that would be incredible, but I think a bit of a stretch. But bear in mind that everything we make this year, we'll be able to make every single year. And there were lots of areas where we could have made more money. We could have had the abattoir. We could have sold some of the cows as they were being produced. We could have converted the cow milk into cheese and stuff like that. There are lots of areas where we could have made more money. And when you're selling products, obviously the price of the product at the moment you sell it is key. So here, 53,000 for the single bee honey seller, the honey money as I like to call it. We could have doubled that possibly, well, not doubled it actually, but we could have definitely made more profit off the back of that in a good year. Let's have a look at the fish meat again. If we'd have sold it at this price, we would have made a little bit more. But let's just sell everything that we have on the farm. Actually, let's just get to the end of the year. Let's get to the 1st of January so we can see how much it is. So, I mean, if you've been watching along and you're enjoying the whole tutorial thing, great. It's not my position to tell you. I hate it when games say this is the most profitable way of doing it and do it this way, and then you just copy it. I mean, where is the fun in that? Build whatever you want to build. The point of this tutorial is to show you how all the mechanics work and the little foibles that you've got to watch out for when you're playing the game. Again, look, oh my gosh, have we filled up yet another barn? My goodness me, we have filled up another barn. So I'm not going to build another barn. We'll just accept the fact that there's some grass there that needs to be put into a barn that we're not going to get profit on, but that's okay. So yeah, far be it from me to tell you what to do with your farm. It's entirely your design. It's your opinion. You grow what you want to grow. And if you make big profits, great. If you make small profits, but you're having more fun, great. It doesn't matter. It's your game. It's your way of playing. You can do it your way. There are no right ways and wrong ways in this game. There's just mechanics and little foibles that you need to know about, like which combines you can use on the big field. Even though it makes you buy a Rodon combine, it almost suggests that the smaller combine should be able to work on there. So in the future, maybe that will be the case, but at the moment, I don't think it is. Right, we're almost there. Come on. I've got to stop slowing it down. I'm as curious as you. What are we going to earn? 2 million and I'll be very happy, but 1.5 million is the very least I would like to pull in on the back of this entire year. Now, I didn't realise I was going to have to build 20 tons of silo storage, multiple barns, multiple warehouses. How many units have we got left on the warehouse, just out of interest? Oh, we're nearly full there. So 4 warehouses, 22 tons of grain silo. The manure actually has done fine, 3 units of manure because it's been used throughout the year. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully we get some good prices on a couple of things. There we go. 1st of January 2023. Let's see how much money we're going to make here. I'm excited. Let's sell the honey. We're going to sell everything, by the way. The corn, the sorghum, even the stuff that is only meant to feed the animals. We're just going to sell the lot. I'm not going to sell that stuff. We'll sell these. I'm not sure where we've got those. Oatmeal organic. Now, obviously, we could have taken these organic items and made more money out of them. But we're just going to sell it completely. So slightly less than 1.5 million. 1.262. And if you look at the honey money, not a great price. The corn is pretty stable. The sorghum's pretty stable. The soy is pretty stable. The sunflower's a little bit good. The linseed is pretty poor price. Lupin is standard. Rye is standard. Wheat is standard. Ostrich egg actually went up in value. 1.2 million. We've only got 5 of those, unfortunately. If I'd have held on to those all year, we'd have actually made more profit. Carp meat, not a bad price. Blackcurrant, actually a good price. Organic blackcurrant, another good price. The fodder beets, average. Oatmeal organic, pretty average. Crops are stable. Blackcurrant is actually a little bit down. That's a bit of a shame. And you can see here that we're going to get 104,000 from that one greenhouse selling organic, and only 74,000 from the greenhouse selling the standard stuff. But you've got to remember that the anti-weed is a different value as well. So there are different costs. That's not pure profit. It's not 30,000 more. It's probably more like 20,000 more. So you've got to factor that in, whether or not it's worthwhile. Certainly selling organic cheese and organic items like jam, they definitely make more money. That's pretty standard. The price on fish is actually very high. We made 324,000 just on the frozen fish alone. And milk, not a great price on milk. Pretty standard. So overall, I think we didn't get great sale prices. But that's 1.2 million per year we're going to pull in on that farm. And bearing in mind, this is not designed for profit. This is just showing you all the mechanics that are available in the game. Having 3 massive fields of the same product is a bit of a gamble, because if the price of that product is high, and I forgot to tell you about this, This is demand. So the demand for buckwheat and potatoes is really high. So if one of these was for corn, then the profit I could have made on corn would have been substantially high, like 20% more. So yeah, I mean, it's a good game. It fluctuates, the prices fluctuate, and they're a little bit erratic at times, but on the whole, I think it gets the message across. It creates the right environment, I think, for lots of fun and engagement, etc. So yeah, it's good. I really like the game. Hopefully this tutorial is helpful for you, gets you up and running. It's an ultimate tutorial from SimUK where we focus on ultimate realism, so it's from a realism perspective, not how to beat the game perspective. I hope it's been helpful for you. I hope it's been helpful for you today. If there's anything that I haven't covered that you'd like to know about, just ask me in the comments section. How do you do this? How do you do that? I'll be happy to explain it to you. But I think I've covered all the basics. This should be enough to get you up and running. And I'm really interested to see how your farms turn out. So if you get a farm together and it goes well, please do come back, tell me how you've got on. Do you know what? I'd love to do a segment where I upload people's farms and I show what people have done. That would be great. If you want to send me your game save files, I'll put them into a little video and we can upload them. If that's something you're interested in doing, then check out my email address on my YouTube account and just send it to me there, and I'll put a couple of game save files together. And yeah, I can showcase some of your farms. I think that would be a great thing to do. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Take care. Till next time. Goodbye.